Daredevil Born Again Season 2, Episode 6 review. Let's get right into this. So let me just say this right out the gate. A lot of stuff happens this episode, so no one can say this is an uneventful episode because it was quite literally the opposite. Some might argue there's too much stuff in this episode. Like, it's absolutely insane. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to cover it all, but just know, I mean, I'm assuming you watched the episode, so yeah, spoilers ahead, by the way, but yeah, a lot of stuff happens this episode, kind of mind-boggling, in a good way. I would say in a good way for me, at least. It worked for me. It didn't feel like it was over. I mean, there was a lot. I'm like, damn, okay, there's a lot, but it didn't feel like it affected the story negatively. I'll say that. I think it served its purpose. That's what I'll say. Yeah, like I said, an eventful episode. I think the season's going on an upward trajectory, to be honest. I think every episode is just better and better than the previous one. And it's the same case for this episode, year 6. I would say this is better. Honestly, it's kind of crazy to say, but I think this might be the best episode of the season thus far. So 2 more episodes. And in a way, I mean, this was even the penultimate episode, but the way it was set up, especially those last, I would say the second half of the episode is really where things got more, they kicked off and started getting more intense. That's where the episode started getting, started running real well. But yeah, man, like this felt like it could have been a finale, almost a finale type episode. Definitely, it felt like it could easily been a penultimate episode. Yeah, no, we still have 2 more episodes, so I'm excited to see what happens. But some things I want to talk about in this episode. But yeah, just know that overall my general thoughts. Yeah, I love this episode. So, things I want to talk about is that there was during that one point, I'm trying to remember who was on the phone. Oh yeah, BB was, the whole storyline that got going on with pretty much Daniel just feeding BB false information, just trying to bait her out because of, Buck saying to do so. Then you see her, she's gonna send the message, and then we see she was gonna send it, and then she deletes it. But she was gonna send to none other than Ellison, right? And like, damn, this is one of the characters I really wanted to come back. And at least we know he exists in this universe, technically speaking, right? Although, like, even though everything's canon, you know what I mean? But we actually are seeing something in Born Again relating back, to the Netflix show, of course. But yeah, Ellison was one of the characters that I missed. Same Sister Maggie, that's another one. Who else? Oh, I forget his name. Was his name Turk? Might have been. And then who else? Melvin, right? Yeah, those are the first few characters I can think of that I want to return. But yeah, like, I'm happy. Hopefully this also means the same thing as like kind of what they did to Sister Maggie, where hopefully in season 3 of Born Again, they're actually back, like, physically in here. You only hope, but I thought it was a pretty cool little Easter egg for the OG fans to kind of just cling on to. And let me see here. The next thing, yeah, like I said, we got the whole thing with BB and Daniel. And Daniel eventually finds out, he goes through BB's pockets, her coat pocket, and finds the whole SD card, right? That has the video on it, the testimonies essentially. And he finds out that she's the mole, man. She is the mole. Like the one time she decides not to send the scoop, she still gets caught. I feel it's kind of ironic, to be honest. And then we see like in this episode, the latter half of this episode, everything is going down for Fisk, like in the most brutal way. He lost Vanessa, right? That's already bad as it is. We already show he's unhinged, because even in the beginning of the episode, yeah, we see Fisk just literally bear hug and just break the ribs of that doctor. And I can't like just side note, even from the last episode, they plan to see of this doctor dying at the hands of Fisk. Because bro, like, what doctor talks to you like that? Like, I don't know what like, does he really think the way he's talking is gonna comfort him? I feel that will only get a person more like just more frustrated, more angry. Like, really? And then this guy, like, okay, if he says 1 or 2 things, okay, whatever, I guess you can kind of let it slide. But this dude kept on going on a whole spiel. I'm like, bro, come on. Do you not know who you're talking to? Like, this guy really thought he had immunity just because he's a doctor. Nah, bro, Fisk. Nah. Fisk is like, no. These hands don't discriminate. So yeah, that was crazy. I can't lie. And he just leaves him there. So I did like that bit. But yeah, like I was saying, then everything even later episode. Then Fisk, everything is going on with his he's losing support from the governor, right? They're pulling out whatever. And then also the support from the citizens, right? That's one of the main things. And then he has a whole beef going on with Mr. Charles. Everything is just going to just going. Everything's just crumbling down, right? His whole empire, as we know it, is crumbling down. And then it's just interesting to see, especially the themes in this episode, the latter half. There's a lot to break down, to be honest. Too much to even get into this video. But just know this episode is thematically rich. That's all I'll say. But as they build everything up and then show how it kind of everything builds up, and then they show what the consequences, you can say. I just think that like those last 20 minutes, 25 minutes of the episode are just absolutely fantastic. And then even with Powell, right? You see Powell, he knew like for a while that guy was a mole, and then he ends up just like killing him. But the way he does it, right? He knows that one gunshot is just gonna get people, up in arms, and then he can say, "Oh, look, they shot it, even though it didn't," and that was an excuse to kill the, technically the mole, right, in the task force. And then we get was it Coleman? I think it's Coleman. I might be wrong. I always forget his name, but yeah, I still feel the redemption arc from him. That one task force member, he has a redemption arc in him for sure. You can see it. We didn't see that much of Bullseye because he was mostly just unconscious for the episode. So we're still gonna get the scenes between Matt and Jessica Jones at the church, and then also with Matt and Bullseye inside, the hideout. So I'm looking forward to those. Those are probably in episode 7, to be honest. I'd be shocked if they're in episode 8. What else was there? And then Buck / Heather. They're showing that Heather is, because Vanessa was probably the closest person she had, right, for the last bit. So that death is also taking a toll on her. And you see her kind of like stealing her earrings. I'm like, damn, that's kind of crazy. But also see her like looking in the mirror, and then you can see the clear side effects that she's gonna become Muse. Okay, we literally see it. They're literally hinting at that, and then her just choking Buck. Obviously, said to choke her or choke him, and kind of their relationship is, I guess, blossoming in a way. It is kind of weird. I can't lie. It made me uneasy. That's what I'll say. It was unsettling. So there's that, and like I said, Fisk is unhinged. And they planted the seeds of Sheila becoming the mayor, because as we know from the Brand New Day trailer, and then even the Born Again season 3 set leaks, she will become the mayor by the end of Born Again season 2. And like the governor just saying like, whatever, we got ways of just in terms of handling Fisk, whatever. Because Vanessa's like the only thing that's keeping everything apart, and now that she's gone, you see the consequences from that, right? So I thought that was a good way of doing it. But we're just seeing here the seeds of what's gonna be shown in Born Again season 3 and Brand New Day. So that's very interesting. And let me see here. I guess the main theme of this episode, at least the one that like really stuck out to me, was the kill versus not kill. You see Karen. It is uncharacteristic. I have to agree with Matt. It is uncharacteristic of Karen to be on the side of just killing people, right? She wants to just kill Bullseye, but Matt is vehemently against it. So we're getting those two sides. They're kind of pit against each other, right? Because Matt's protecting Bullseye, and even she mentions like how not only he protected Bullseye, but also Fisk, right? And essentially how because of that, the people are dying. You can use the prime example of Foggy. So I get it, because I do get her perspective as well. Yeah, man. Violence is just not the way. So I thought that was like the theme that stuck out to me the most, or the dialogue. But there's a lot of rich dialogue. Even when you go to the end of the episode, when you get the epic showdown between Fisk versus Matt, in a lot of ways, it did remind me of, in the Netflix Daredevil season 3 ending, the finale in there. So that was cool. And then also what happened to, the painting. Like, oh, damn. It's good stuff. Very intense. Yeah, it is a very intense fight. And even the dialogue, like I was trying to say, the dialogue is very rich in there. They're talking about how they both pretty much know how the situation is, how the situation is going to end. Neither of them is going to leave until the other does. So essentially, they're both just going to fight until the death, right? Until one of them is just gone permanently. That's the only way. Even though Matt doesn't fight, but you know what I mean. Like we know that neither of them are leaving until the other does, but they're not gonna like voluntarily leave. They talked about that in the episode. So kind of fight it out, and I'm like, damn, so that was a scene where I'm like, okay, this felt like it could have been in the latter, like the penultimate episode 7 or the finale episode 8. It was very good. I can't lie, it's very good. Let me see here. What else is there? Yeah, we even get. Let me see. Yeah, we even get the reference of Wesley, right? Him dying. I'm like, okay, that was pretty cool that they referenced that. And then Matt referenced it back to Fisk later in the episode, right? I think. Wait, did he? Might be wrong. He might have, he might not. But either way, Wesley did get referenced earlier in the episode, so I thought that was pretty cool. Wait, it was good. It was especially good because it wasn't just like throwing it out there. It actually connected to the theme of the episode, or one of the themes of the episode. And then we get, of course, I can't believe I'm talking about this last, but Jessica Jones is back. We see them at the kind of like one of the facilities where the task force is kind of like, you know, stole or like secretly moved a whole bunch of like the weaponry, right? That Mr. Charles was trying to like, you know, get them to do stuff with. They kind of just backdoored Mr. Charles. That's besides the point. You see Jessica Jones and Matt talking there, and the way they even introduced her beforehand with her daughter, that was great stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, like I can't lie, it was so epic to see Matt and Jessica Jones back together because that was my favorite part of Defenders. Their dynamic, it's pretty hilarious. I can't lie. And then especially when you see them fighting together, I'm like, oh man, that's great. But the main thing about Jessica Jones, at least at this current point, is about her powers being on and off ever since she's had her child. And they showed it. I love the way they showed it in the fight where she's like dominating, right? The task force. She's like just easy, like just wiping them all, right? And then you see Powell. Of course, it was on Powell. Powell just starts, you know, he gets the best of her essentially, right? Because Jessica tried to punch Powell and it didn't work because her powers, like she said, they're on and off. And in that instance, they're off. And luckily Matt was there. But besides the point, they're doing a good way of showing it, right? And this episode, man, there's like a lot more stuff that happened in here. Like even when Karen gets revealed, right, her wig falls off. She gets revealed by Powell. Now she's kind of held, you know, hostage by Powell. So we'll see what happens there with that. Angela, she's trying to get help for her friend. BB, let's see what happens with her. Yeah, I mean, I still thought I don't think she's gonna die. I'm gonna be honest. I think Daniel's still dying at the end of the season. I think he's gonna I think he's gonna he's not gonna like kill BB. Like there's no way. There's no way. He's gonna realize he's gonna come to his senses, realize Daniel's all messed up, man. I'm on the wrong side. Because he still has a good in him. You can see it. He still has a good in him. And then that's gonna lead Buck to just kill him. Right. So that's still my guess. But yeah, man, this episode, it's very good. I think that's about everything I want to talk about. Let me know what you think about the episode down below. Did you like it? Did you not? What's your favorite part? And yeah, can't wait for episode 7 and 8. Anyways, let me know what you think down below this episode. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next one. Peace.